Game number 2 of our day features two of the best in girls basketball in the state of Indiana. This morning we have the Pike Red Devils, who come in at number 3. They're 15-1. And North Central, the top team in Class 4A. They've lost twice this season and only once in state. Alongside Tully Bevilacqua, I'm Pat Boylan. It's a bit of a rivalry matchup as well. These two teams met in the regional finals, with Pike upsetting then undefeated last year North Central. And North Central, Pike, two of the top teams again this year. North Central, though, a little bit short-handed here today.
Well, that's right. It was a 2-point victory to Pike going back to that regional. So North Central looking for revenge, although the dynamics of their makeup today is different, but that'll still be in the back of their mind. So North Central will look to push the ball. Obviously, the Red Devils will look to slow them down. But look for Baker from Pike, who's looking to penetrate at every opportunity.
Angel Baker is fantastic. She'll be in the starting lineups, presented by Master Jewelers for the Red Devils. Baker at over 21 points per game. The Pike Red Devils are certainly led by her, but Makia Keith averaging over 11 per game, and Kennedy Gerard down in the post, the center. Gerard certainly a force for the Red Devils as well. As we take a look now at the Panthers, who lost their first in-state game in nearly 2 calendar years on Thursday to Ben Davis. They're shorthanded without Ricky Harris or Taylor Ramey, but still plenty of firepower. Savea Brockington, the junior, had over 16 points per game. They'll play a freshman as well, Nakai Hunter, a 5'11 freshman. She'll be down there in the post for the Panthers, who at 17-2 are number 1 again in Class 4A, a very familiar position for them. This team went undefeated last year in the regular season before losing to the team across the court in the round of 8, the regional finals, when Bob Angela's Pike Red Devils came up with a 61-59 overtime win. Only a game here tonight, this afternoon, where if it's upbeat, Bob Angela's squad from Pike wants it to stay a little bit slower of pace, as Angela in his 7th season. They can play fast, but they don't want to play North Central fast.
That's right, and North Central, with that speed style of play, they just need to be careful of looking after the basketball, not having any turnovers forced from them, which will create easy opportunities down the other end for Pike. So they want to look after the ball with control, but at the same time push that speed aspect, which has been their style now. But we talk about injuries, and obviously 2 very big injuries to North Central, but to me, I see opportunities now for other players to step in, get more minutes, and showcase what they can do.
North Central Panthers, Deanne Ramey, their head coach, was not shy to say it. They want revenge. They'd like to get it today, but their ultimate goal, if they face again in the tournament, is to beat Pike, who got them a year ago. And a corner 3 underway from Michaela White, misses short. The offensive rebound to the Red Devils, who score 65 points per game. Bob Angela wants this game in the 50s or the lower 60s, because North Central likes to run. Here's Brockington, the junior, darting in. Her first shot off the back of the rim, and the 5'4 junior has the offensive rebound.
Both teams starting out with some good looks at the basket. You can see that pace, though, that North Central want to play with, so Pike have to do a better job of getting back in transition defense.
This is also a Metropolitan Interscholastic Conference matchup. Both teams in the MIC in Class 4A, both very large schools here in the state of Indiana. Pike at just over 3,000 enrolled students, as the first free throw from Nakai Hunter off the mark. She's a 43% shooter. This is a freshman, as expected with somebody this young, is still a little bit raw, but possesses tons of physical tools and abilities. She comes up empty from the line here early, as we are still scoreless from Bankers Live Fieldhouse. Basketball Day, Indiana game number 2 between 2 of the top teams in the state on the girls' side. And on the other end, it's Makia Keith off the mark, and it'll stay with Pike.
Keith getting a good look at the 3-point line there. You can see North Central starting out in that zone. Again, Pike just needing to move the ball around.
North Central closing in on 4,000 students. Deanne Ramey in year number 7 won a title in her first season as the head coach in North Central, and 2 steals here early for the Panthers. This is exactly according to Deanne Ramey's plan. They're aggressive on defense, they're fast on offense. Stallings couldn't finish the other way.
Now, whilst they've missed those first couple of transition plays, they'll continue to do that, and those baskets will start to drop for them.
A second attempt for White. That won't go, and the rebound to the freshman Nakai Hunter. And at just a freshman, you see the size and the raw ability of what Deanne Ramey is going to have at her helm for the next full years. Brockington.
Showing some handles there. Great play. Got rid of her defensive player. A little step back jump shot there.
Just 92 seconds into this one and a timeout already from Bob Angela, but the athleticism from North Central cannot be matched in this state, even without their top 2 players, Ricky Harris and Taylor Ramey. You see the junior, Savea Brockington, with the crossover dribble and knocks down the 2-point shot. A look at the coaches poll, which features North Central number 1, Pike number 2, but you'll see a lot of the mix in there. In fact, Lawrence North is number 4, so the top 4 teams all come from conference. Once these 2 teams get to tournament play, they're certainly going to be contested. Some losses probably coming from these teams just because of their difficult schedule. North Central and Pike are hoping that that helps them get back to this building in early March.
And we know that Pike do love to play here in the regionals, so their goal is to get back there again.
This is Angel Baker at over 21 points per game. She's headed to Wright State next year, loses the handle. White comes down with it. A second effort for White and a steal for Brockington. Savela already with a couple of steals, and she'll go coast to coast. Some contact and throw it in.
Well, Pat, I couldn't see her there for a little while with the defensive players just kind of like engulfing her, but what a finish on that basket.
Cross court, here is Baker's first look. The follow is good. That's Michaela White.
North Central in that zone. We've talked about it in the first game. When you play a zone, as soon as that shot goes up, you've got to get a body. It doesn't have to be necessarily the player you're defending at the time, but get a body, box them out.
Brockington has 4. Stallings on the drive. Deflected off of Pike. Will stay with the Panthers. An early look already at Savea Brockington, and you can see just how difficult she is to guard.
I still don't know how she got that ball in there, but she has brought some energy to this game straight away.
North Central works the post. Meg Newman's turnaround won't go. Brown working it in. Keith from the corner.
Second missed 3-point shot by Keith. She looked very disappointed on that one.
Stallings looking to run. Newman.
You know, one way for Pike to slow this North Central team down is to start making some shots, or else they'll continue to push off those rebounds.
Both teams are cold early, out of control. Baker rolled it in. You see the talent from her. Deanne Ramey, the head coach of North Central, said Baker is first, second, and third who we need to stop on the other end. And just like that, Stallings at the other end got fouled. And Stallings to the line when North Central is playing at their best. As we get one more look from Baker, the look away, off balance. Got it to go.
Great finish, as you said, falling down, but had the ability to maintain her ability to get that shot up before falling down.
But in just a matter of a couple of seconds, North Central has the ball on the other end, and Asia Stallings to the line. An 80% foul shooter. The 5'8" senior hits her first.
But North Central, they look good when they get that rebound and they push the ball up the floor, so Pike have to be very conscious of getting back in transition defense and not allowing these easy baskets.
Dessa Giesler, a 5'7" senior, checking in for Michaela White. Both free throws on the mark for Stallings as North Central an early 2-point lead. Quarter number 1 here from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. 2 of the very best teams on the girls' side in the state of Indiana. Pike got North Central, who was undefeated at the time, in the regional final, and North Central has been eyeing revenge since February of last year, and they've done it on the turnover here so far. Stallings right to the rim. Stallings the finish. She has 4, and North Central leads by 4.
And that all started for her on the defensive end. She was putting pressure on the passer, got the deflection, ended up with that left-hand layup on the other end.
Giesler, cross-court pass to Keith. On the hesitation, Keith got inside, lost the handle, and another turnover, already the 5th, as Brockington, working her magic through traffic, will work it out to Stallings. Her 3 won't go. The offensive rebound, though, to Hunter, and Hunter headed to the line.
Well, Pike are all just watching that shot in the air instead of getting a body on those North Central players and pushing them out. So Central doing a great job on the offensive rebound.
Central averages 63 points per game. Hunter hits her first, a 43% foul shooter. She missed her initial 2. This is already the 6th free throw for the Panthers, doing a nice job of attacking the rim early.
Pike haven't found their groove just yet. They look a little hesitant. Keith probably gave up an open 3-point shot. She's missed her first 2 shots, so she was probably a little hesitant.
And a whistle, a foul going on the floor against the Panthers, as they get Nakai Hunter on the foul.
Garrett posting up very strong there, and great recognition from the perimeter players to get that ball into her.
This is Angel Baker at 21 points per game. She knocks down a 3. Baker, a fantastic shooter. She's at 45% from beyond the perimeter on the season. Those are almost unbelievable numbers, but just like that, Savea Brockington shot out of a cannon back to the line.
You know, in Pike, you can't celebrate the previous basket that you just made. You have to get back in defense, and right now we're seeing when Pike have scored that they have just gotten back nonchalant, and North Central are just running that ball straight back at them.
It has to be a little frustrating for Bob Angela, because these two teams, they know each other. They know if you're Pike, if they're going to win this game, it's not going to be at the pace we've seen so far. As Brockington hits 1 and 2, and the lead for North Central up to 3. Baker hit that 3 a moment ago. Gerard collapses the defense. The corner 3 from Keith off the mark.
Gerard being smothered then by the defense, which left that open outside shot. So you can see there's a definitive game plan here by North Central.
That's already the 5th team foul on Pike. They'll have to be careful. Once you get to 7, the single bonus, 10 gets you to the double bonus. So 2 more Pike fouls away from North Central shooting free throws. We're just midway through the first quarter. Brockington, a pull-up 3. The rebound from Hunter.
Another offensive rebound given up again by Pike.
Bounce pass underneath. It somehow found its way through, and then Pike turns it right back over. That's the 4th turnover on Pike. North Central has yet to give it away. Jasmine Davis, a 6'1" freshman in for North Central. She'll come in for Meg Newman.
Pike looking a little disjointed right now. North Central came out from the get-go, pushing the ball, set the tone, and you can see that has put Pike on the back of their heels.
Nakai Hunter, the freshman. North Central plays 3 freshmen. Part of that due to the injuries to Harris and Ramey. Part of that because their freshman class is one that's going to be here and be prominent in this Panther offense for a long time. Good ball movement. Davis couldn't get it to go. And now here comes Keith on the move. Keith into the teeth of the defense. The floater.
Keith just trying to make it happen here for Pike. Create something off the dribble.
And now
Look at that.
On the floor, they'll get a foul, but that's now the 6th foul on Pike. And this could loom large here. Every foul that isn't offensive from here on out against the Red Devils is going to mean free throws for the Panthers.
Well, Pike have to get in front of Brockington and not allow her a direct path to the basket. They're trying to come in from the side, which 9 times out of 10, you're going to create a foul, especially with her speed. Touch her bodies there.
Dejanay Brockington, the sister of Savea. North Central does a nice job of getting back on Baker. Baker has 5 so far. There's a turnover. And out to Stallings. Baker has 5, Baker has 7.
Well, Baker just making up then for that pass error that she made prior to that.
Brockington, a pull-up 3. Savea can do it all. Savea Brockington now with 8 points.
You can see a couple of the Red Devils breathing a little heavier with this pace right now. It's causing them to have to get up and down the floor a little quicker than what they'd like.
Jasmine Davis called for the foul on the floor. Just the second team foul on North Central. The Red Devils have already taken 6 3-pointers. They're 1 for 6. North Central is 1 for 4. Oh, they had a wide open player underneath. Brown couldn't control it, and out on the run is Brockington.
I'm not sure if Brown was surprised of how wide open she was.
Brockington around Madden. Offensive rebound. Here's Stallings, the floater.
Great play by Stallings, but it's coming down to those offensive rebounds. And when you watch, the Pike players are just turning and not getting a body on their opponents every time the shot goes up.
Pike, who averages 65 points per game, held under double digits here so far. Baker tries to change that. It rolls off.
.25 seconds left of play here.
Hunter the spin, and Hunter got fouled. So they get Dessa Giesler on the foul for Pike. It is their 7th, so North Central has entered the bonus. This is a shooting foul, so 2 free throws are coming up for the freshman Nakai Hunter, who is 1 for 4 there on the afternoon. If you're Pike, this isn't a bad option to send to the line.
It's a definite foul on the arm there.
Makia Keith returning for the Red Devils.
Makia Keith coming back in as Mariah Brown will take a rest. Well, if you're Pike, you're not used to playing a swarming style of defense like North Central plays.
No, and every time the ball goes into the post player, they're sending 2-3 players at Jared.
Really good looking free throws from Nakai Hunter. As she comes out, Meg Newman, the freshman, comes in. This makes North Central so impressive. They are so talented despite the injury, and here they're subbing freshman for freshman.
And as their coach has stated, that when they're all healthy, it's pretty hard for any team to keep up with them.
Baker, the rebound. Here's a look for Keith. 2 good looks for Pike. It won't go. Can Brockington beat the clock? She gets under it. Brockington doesn't see it, and that'll take us through 1. But an efficient offensive first quarter for the North Central Panthers. They're out in front 17-9. Savea Brockington doing the scoring, doing the dishing. And the Panthers looking to get their revenge here at the Fieldhouse from the tournament a year ago.
Made the buying process easy and actually fun. Great price and kept everything professional yet simple. Knowledgeable about their vehicles and a pleasure doing business with. That's not from us. That's from our customers. We at Penske Chevy listen to what's important. Give us the opportunity and we'll deliver the experience you deserve. With our Penske Promise, low price guarantee, 3-day return policy, top trade-in value. Not only do we guarantee our cars, we guarantee you'll love yours. Find new roads at PenskeChevyIndy.com, home of the Penske Promise.
Over 40 years ago, AYSO had a radical idea about girls soccer. Let them play. Now every weekend, girls play soccer with passion. And with the right kind of support, anything can happen. AYSO, great soccer starts here.
I am unstoppable. I'm not afraid to be me. I am full of possibility.
Girls on the Run inspires girls to be joyful, healthy, and confident. Dedicated volunteer coaches help 3rd to 8th grade girls embrace their strengths and celebrate what makes them unique. They team up for a community service project, then finish with a 5K. Thanks to our volunteers and partners, Girls on the Run can be a game changer for young girls. To learn more, log on to girlsontherun.org.
Basketball Day Indiana is presented by St. Vincent. Back inside Bankers Life Fieldhouse, the Pike Lady Red Devils were runner-up a year ago in this building, losing to Homestead. On that track, they beat previously undefeated North Central. North Central had won 2 of those games against the 2 in the regular season. Pike pulled the upset. Deanne Ramey saying this isn't necessarily a revenge game, because that revenge game they want to come in the tournament if it happens, but they're certainly thinking about it, and they've had a long off season and beginning to this season for the Panthers to consider what happened in last February. Pike coming up with the turnover. Here's Baker. Nice handoff. Michaela White.
Well, that was great to watch, and that started with a defensive pressure there by Micaiah Keith, who got the deflection, as we see. Maybe a contact lens has come out.
On Asia Stallings. So they will bring Olivia Terry, the freshman, in for her.
As you can see, Keith here applying the pressure, diving for that ball. And Baker just doing the rest with an easy assist there.
If you're Pike, you got 7 of your 9 first quarter points from Baker. You'd like to see more offense coming from players other than her.
She definitely needs some complementary players around her to take that pressure off. But what a great story for Pike from last year. You know, having done so well, obviously, with 2016 and what happened that year. But I am in the Pike area myself, and a lot of my boot campers are very Pike proud, so I've got to give them a shout out.
As Pike turns it over. This is a matchup that features plenty of collegiate level talent. Angel Baker for Pike is headed to Wright State. Unfortunately for North Central, their top 2 players, Ricky Harris, who's going to Ohio State, Taylor Ramey is going to IUPUI. She's the daughter of Deanne. They're both out with injuries. Ricky Harris has played off and on this season but cannot go today. Taylor Ramey with a torn ACL that she suffered in soccer. And in fact, Meg Newman, who we've seen on the floor at times, she suffered a collarbone injury playing soccer, as there's Dejanay Brockington, the sister of Savea. North Central has been riddled by injury, and yet they're still the top team in the state.
You know, and that's great. Other players stepping up now, taking advantage of, you never want injuries to happen with your team, but they're stepping up and sharing the load now.
There is Meg Newman, who plays goalie as a freshman on the varsity North Central soccer team. Savea got inside and drew the contact. She has been a problem for Pike from the get-go. She's knocked down the 3. Her passing, she's so small and so quick, she gets to almost wherever she wants on the floor when it's man-to-man.
She attacks the middle of the keyway, then you could just see her as the defensive pressure came. She just tucked that ball under her arm, and she's been rewarded now with 2 free throws. And that's what happens when you have an attacking mentality, is you're going to create some form of contact with the defense.
And she's an 87% foul shooter. So when she gets here, it's typically lights out.
Typically, yeah. You did it again, Pat.
Baker spinning. Nice move, Angel Baker. She couldn't finish, and the rebound comes down to Terry, who gave it right back away. And a foul coming. Dessa Giesler came up with the turnover, and Giesler headed to the line.
See Baker doing a great job getting that deflection, finding her teammate. As you see, Baker needs some of her teammates now to step up around her.
Giesler, a 43% foul shooter. This is something that every coach talked about when talking to them in the first 2 games. You come to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, the backdrop is totally different. They're used to playing in high school gyms where often the wall is right behind the basket, and all of a sudden you're looking at something completely different in your focus when you're looking at the room to shoot.
Oh, it is totally different. And then, you know, playing in these arenas for the first time myself, and then you have the opposition fans with the bumper things making noises and waving at you. But it'll just take them a few minutes to get used to.
So foul going against Stallings as Pike looking to withstand here this initial rush from North Central. There's Baker. There's a three.
Well, Baker hesitated initially. She wasn't quite sure whether she wanted to take the three-point shot, but no defense came out to her.
Baker now with 10 points and 4 rebounds. She also has 2 fouls, so they'll have to watch her from that perspective. They've got to keep her on the floor here with 2. They can't afford to put her on the bench. She's so dynamic on the offensive end. Brockington. And first, a timeout from Deanne Ramey, the head coach of North Central, as things started to slow down a little, and she said when we struggle is when we stop running. And it's easier said than done, but you see things get into the half court and slow down a little bit, and Deanne Ramey wants to talk things over. Here's Angel Baker, who now has 10. A bit of a hesitation, but she is as good of a shooter as anybody in the state.
And that's right, and like we said, if you can make some baskets, that should help to slow down your opposition, but you've got to get back in transition defense, which Pike have done a better job of. And they've started to put a little bit more pressure now defensively in the quarter court. And you can see Coach Ramey now trying to talk it over with her troops.
There's Deanne Ramey in the middle of there somewhere. In her 7th season at North Central, she's coached as a head coach in the state 17 times. She came to North Central and won a state title, taking over for legendary Alan Vickery. Won a state title in year number 1. She said she never planned on coaching this long, but the problem was a lot of these players she's coaching now, she coached when they were youth. And as she starts to see them grow up, giving up coaching a little bit easier said than done.
Would make it a little harder as you see them progress to different levels, so very much a big attachment.
Especially when it's a group as good as this. A lefty three from Stallings. Here comes Baker. Davis is back. Baker lost the handle. It'll stay with Pike.
Nice crossover move then by Baker, but good transition defense then as well to keep running with Baker and get that deflection.
They'll get it in. Another good look, but through the hands of Michaela White, and a turnover. And look who's back, Savea Brockington.
Michaela White couldn't keep a handle on that pass there. There's 2 opportunities now off inbound plays that they've not taken advantage of.
That is the 9th Pike turnover. That is the 10th Pike turnover. And Brockington has 11, draws 3. Around to Newman. She tried a 3 earlier.
She wasn't having a bar of that one. She didn't even look at the basket, and she was wide open.
You miss one badly like that, if you're not normally a 3-point shooter, you say, okay, my day out there's done.
Well, she knows her role.
This is the half court where Pike wants it. They've done a good job on the defensive end here in the second of slowing down the pace. North Central's been effective. There's their 3rd turnover, an offensive foul on Terry.
Desmond Davis there, big call for an offensive screen. She wasn't quite set on that baseline screen then. Very easy call for the referee to make.
Freshman Nakai Hunter back in, but that's the number you see right there. 10 turnovers on Pike. That number cannot be that high if they're going to win. Baker left alone. That one skips off the far side of the rim, and Newman pulls it down.
Good handles being shown then by Brockington.
Stallings, baseline pull-up.
You know, and that was great play then. Brockington did push the tempo in transition. They didn't have a good, clear shot in transition. They worked it around, so that was one of their better quarter-court sets.
Giesler from the corner. She knocks it down, took some contact as well. Wanted a 4-point play, but Giesler, a 34% foul shooter, hits the 3. Here's Stallings, long 2, rimmed out. And the rebound comes to Michaela White.
Pike pushing the ball here a little bit. Baker getting herself in trouble on occasions.
White will launch. There's Baker with the offensive rebound over the smaller Brockington. A double team, nearly a steal, and it is a steal. Brockington ahead. Stallings beats everybody back. That's 11 turnovers now for Pike. And despite some effectiveness when they haven't turned it over on the offensive end, that has caused way too many easy baskets for the Panthers.
That's right. And North Central are applying enormous pressure on the ball. When the ball goes inside, they're all crashing down.
Giesler, she hit one earlier. Offensive rebound, put back Kennedy Gerard. A much-needed basket for Pike.
Great job by Gerard by getting inside on that shot in the zone defense there. Pike able to slow it down again.
Wide reaches in, tips it out of bounds. Olivia Terry coming out as Dejanay Brockington will come back in. Dejanay, the senior. Savea actually plays on the ball more. In fact, Savea will not come out, according to Deanne Ramey, unless she tells her to come out. Ramey's not pulling her unless it's fouls or unless she asks to.
You can understand why from what she's shown us here this morning.
As Newman called for steps. The Brockingtons, by the way, their dad is Ron Brockington, who is a national scout for the Miami Dolphins, one of the top scouts in the Miami Dolphins system.
You know, and credit to Surveyor as well for the physical shape that she's in to be able to do that and play at this high intensity level and stay out there for all this time.
Michaela White turns faces and knocks it down. Michaela White now with 6. Brockington, good position. White with the rebound for Pike. And now the Red Devils back within 6. Here's Angel Baker, who has 10. Giesler's open, they work it around.
Couple of shot opportunities given up just there by Pike.
Baker will take it. She's hit a couple from out there already. That one wouldn't fall. Not a bad look, though, for Pike here, who's gotten back within 6. That would have made it a one-possession game.
They've definitely changed the momentum of the game right now a little bit more in their way. They're doing a good job of getting back, slowing North Central down, and making them have to play quarter-court offense.
Hunter darts in. First shot wouldn't go. The putback does.
Second chance opportunities once again.
And an official timeout is Angel Baker. Now looking at her eye, we saw a contact come out a moment ago, and our official Chris Shields saying, if we take a timeout, you guys at least have to look at this here, but Angel Baker is saying that she is fine.
And she's definitely not a player that you want to have to leave the floor right now.
Into White, tough jump shot in the lane, wouldn't fall. Newman pulled it down.
Good job by Newman. She was about to make that pass, but good recognition of the defense being there.
Tough shot for Brockington. White pulls it down with 30 seconds to go. Pike down 8. And Stallings, no, they'll say she stepped out of bounds. So good defense from Stallings, and Baker with the turnover.
Well, I thought initially Stallings was created a travel then by Baker.
Baker, they're certainly
Fans not liking that call. You can hear
Bob Angela. Really nice crowd, by the way, filing in. Two of the top teams in the state on the girls' side. Romeo Langford will be on the floor. Kristen Airy. Eddie Gill on the call for that one. Stallings left-handed floater wouldn't go. 2 seconds. Brockington tried to force a steal, and Makia Keith won't get it off in time. North Central in control in the first half. They lead it 30-22. The Panthers shooting it at 37% from the field. They've held Pike to 32% shooting, forcing 11 turnovers. 30-22 is the score at the half. Savea Brockington, the point guard, a junior, getting it done on both ends of the floor as North Central takes an 8-point lead into the half. Brian Ammons will have you next with more Basketball Day Live in Indiana.
As long as there is fear, as long as there is curiosity, as long as there are undiscovered corners of the earth, and as long as there is willingness and desire, then you are capable of more.
Dreyer and Reinbold BMW, Indianapolis, Greenwood, and at DreyerReinboldBMW.com. My financial partner is IMCU, Indiana Members Credit Union. They offer the commercial services I need, like online banking and loans for company vehicles and real estate. Plus, they're locally owned like me. When I had a spike in business and needed working capital in a hurry, all it took was one call and IMCU came through. Their local decision-making kept it simple. I get personal service I can count on for my business at IMCU,
Indiana Members Credit Union.
Your true love deserves to wear the brightest diamond in the room. But how do you choose the right one when some diamonds have a difference in price by as much as 70%? Introducing the Bright Crystal Diamond, an affordable brand whose inventory is proven to be in the top 10% of the world's most brilliant diamonds. Come and see for yourself how the Bright Crystal Diamond uses science and third-party technology to prove its inventory's brilliance and give you the added security when making this important purchase. The Bright Crystal Diamond. The difference is in the crystal. Master Jewelers, proud sponsor of Pacers basketball on Fox Sports Indiana.
Nominate an outstanding student leader from an Indiana high school for the Community Health Network Shelbourne Knee Center Athlete of the Month. Student athletes with at least a 3.0 GPA can be honored at halftime on Fox Sports Indiana. Find nomination details at fixknee.com. Missouri Valley Conference basketball is on Fox Sports Midwest. Wednesday night, the Panthers and Sycamores battle for the crowd at Indiana State. You'll see it right here on Fox Sports Midwest. And stream the game live on Fox Sports Go.
It is halftime at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. North Central Savia Brockington with 11 points as the number 1 ranked North Central Panthers lead number 3 Pike 30-22. And we're joined now by Kelly Krauskopf, the president of the Indiana Fever, and her new title, the general manager of Pacers Gaming. Let's talk Fever first.
Let's do it.
You've got a draft coming up. What are your draft needs?
Well, first of all, we got the number 2 pick in the draft this year. So we had a little transition year. We had a new coach last year, Pokey Chapman, who came to us from the Chicago Sky. Very excited about what's happening with our team and how we're reloading a bit. I would say with the number 2 pick in the draft, we're going to take the best player out there. You know, there's so many great players to select from. We're in the middle of kind of our free agent time frame right now, so we're looking at re-signing our own players, starting to look at who we want to sign as terms of free agents, and then we'll have the college draft in April.
A lot of really good talent on the floor today.
Absolutely. You know, what's fun about this whole day is that, you know, you get to see all levels of basketball, and the girls teams that are playing right now are I was just telling the mayor of Indianapolis, I said, you know, what a blast that this would be for these young kids to play in Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And I tell you what, the talent is very good. And it's just fun to see all different levels today. I think Terry Morin at IU's doing a great job. Sharon Versup at Purdue's doing a great job. And it's just, this is going to be a great day for fans to watch basketball.
All right, now let's switch our attention to your new title, General Manager of Pacers Gaming. Now, it still floors me that there is such a thing, but obviously it's very popular.
You don't play NBA 2K games?
I don't, but my son does.
Well, there you go. So that's the point, is that, you know, we have this generation of young fans that are growing up with video gaming, and the NBA 2K game has been around since really 1999, and it's the video simulation game of the NBA. So the NBA decided to start its own esports league. So we will be one of 17 franchises that will participate in the new NBA 2K league. And so I have been put in charge of kind of setting up the franchise, setting up the business. I've hired Cody Parent, who will essentially manage our team and select our players. So we'll draft 5 video game players.
There's a draft.
There's actual draft. So there's a tryout that the NBA 2K League is holding right now. Well, there's a play-in tournament. So people from all over the world can qualify to be a part of the draft, to get drafted by one of the 17 teams.
How long will the season be?
The season is roughly about a 14-week season. So there'll be matches that'll be played. They'll be streamed online. And so this is a digital world that we live in, so there'll be probably maybe a linear television partner, but primarily you'll be able to watch Pacers gaming team in the NBA 2K League through a streaming partner of ours.
So these will be professional gamers.
Professional, I tell you. You got to pay attention to this, because these gamers are significant athletes. They're very highly skilled. They're the best in the world. And I tell you, as I've come to learn the industry and come to know that there's quite a bit of expertise, and it's a global game. There were 9 million copies of the NBA 2K game sold last year alone. So we know there's an appetite for playing as well as watching.
Now, as a general manager, you got to be able to choose the talent. So are you up on that?
Well, no, I hired somebody to choose the talent. Cody, who I think you'll hear from later on today, is a young man who came to us from the NBA 2K world. He's been a player. He's been working in lab analysis in terms of how to dissect the game and how to select the best video game players in the NBA 2K game. But I tell you, this is a global phenomenon of what's happening, and the next generation of sports fans are really going to come from this digital savvy market. That's the way they're consuming sports. That's the way they're watching basketball, they're watching sports, and we think the NBA 2K League is going to bring us even more fans to the Pacers and our other sports teams.
Well, best of luck with the Fever and your new adventure with the Pacers Gaming.
Thank you. When
we come back, we will show you what we have on tap for the rest of the day on Basketball Day Indiana. Stay with us.
Cars have just always been a part of my life. My dad bought a Camaro, and that was my best friend growing up. I had a car picked out, a black G35. It was my dream car, and I needed a little extra money. Went to Forum Credit Union, applied for a loan, and they made it super easy. I got the keys to my car. Their online tools are very user-friendly. Anything I needed, they were able to help me out. Without Forum, I wouldn't be driving my dream car.
It's official. Fishers is Money Magazine's #1 place to live in America, and we agree.
Napleton Kia of Fishers is rolling out the welcome mat. Our inventory is priced to sell, and we're having a massive sales event all month long with low lease payments.
It's great to be part of the #1 place in America. Napleton Kia of Fishers.
Napleton, second to none since 1931.
It's beautiful. To me, it's kind of like going back in time.
Once you get to the Cape, their opportunity to play in these games and in this league can be life-changing.
We snuck into the playoffs last year, and we had 17 or 18 kids drafted. That's how good this league really is.
You know you're going up there and playing against the best. You find out what you're made of.
Ed Too Tall Jones in the spotlight with Fran Healy.
I was going to go to Arizona State and play baseball. My father passed my senior year, and my brother-in-law became my mentor. And he said, you should go to Tennessee State where you can check on your mom. He said, you're a football player. I said, well, I don't know anything about football, but I said, okay.
Basketball Day Indiana is presented by St. Vincent. We're at halftime of our first game of the day. The North Central Panthers lead the Pike Red Devils 30-22, and we're just getting started on Basketball Day Indiana. A lot more for you to see throughout the day as we take a look at our high school schedule. Following this game, we'll see Romeo Langford at number 3 New Albany against number 11 in 3A Silver Creek, and what will be a very good matchup here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And then at 4:45, up in Grand Park, Broad Ripple will face Crispus Attucks. Our college whip-around action, Purdue at Indiana. Women's game down in Bloomington. Nebraska plays at Purdue. Seton Hall at Butler. And Southern Illinois plays Valparaiso. And then, of course, we'll put a bow on things tonight from here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, where the Pacers take on the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls winners last night in Dallas, winning 127-124. Pacers trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. As we head to break, let's hear from one of the best players, male or female, ever to come out of the state of Indiana.
If you ask anybody back home, I was definitely a community project. And it's just like growing up in a small town where, everybody's parents disciplines everybody else's kids. So I knew I had to behave. There's no question about that. But, for me, it was just me being me and loving the game of basketball and playing the game of basketball every single day and striving to be the best that I could.
Made the buying process easy and actually fun. Great price and kept everything professional yet simple. Knowledgeable about their vehicles and a pleasure doing business with. That's not from us. That's from our customers. We at Penske Chevy listen to what's important. Give us the opportunity and we'll deliver the experience you deserve. With our Penske Promise, low price guarantee, 3-day return policy, top trade-in value. Not only do we guarantee our cars, we guarantee you'll love yours. Find new roads at PenskeChevyIndy.com, home of the Penske Promise.
Cheap furniture. Nice game system. New job. Steady girlfriend. Wedding. Dog that serves as a practice child. Little kid. Little kids. Oh. Big kids. Big changes. So, once a year, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance checks to see if we're paying too much or covered too little.
Find an agent and stop knocking on wood. Being a business owner and a dad means a lot of people count on me. Having a bank who knows me and my business is a must. That's why I depend on First Financial Bank to help me see the big picture, whether I'm securing the perfect shot or capturing the little moments. They understand what's important. I trust First Financial to keep my success in mind and protect my most valuable assets.
The coolest moment of my first Daytona 500 was walking out with my dad. My parents traveled around the country and did so many different things to try to get to this level. To be able to walk out, see your car on the grid for the Daytona 500. It's a very special moment for me, something I remember. I remember that feeling that day. It felt like a win, which is good. I had that feeling because it was about 30 laps later, I stuffed the head out on the wall. Just kind of had mixed emotions on that day.
We're through 2 quarters inside Bankers Life Fieldhouse, where North Central leads Pike 30-22, and Tully, the biggest reason North Central able to jump out to that early lead. Points off the turnover. They forced 12 of them, and they've gotten 12 points off of those Pike turnovers.
Well, Surveyor Brockington, she has led the charge for North Central, both offensively and defensively. And Pike, they did a better job in the second half of that quarter of slowing it down a little bit and making North Central play a quarter court game. But they need to take care of that ball in the second half if they want any chance of winning this.
That North Central defense is forcing the turnover, and it's forcing Pike into just over 30% shooting. Pike just 3 of 15 from the three-point line. North Central has been to the line more, but if you're Pike, you've always got that lady, Angel Baker, on your side, who had 10 in the first half. She's headed to Wright State, one of the premier players in this state. And when you've got her, you've always got a chance here in the second half.
Well, that's right. She just needs some players around her to step up, be ready to shoot the ball when she penetrates. But she has 4 turnovers herself, and that's the defensive pressure that North Central are putting on her.
Pike clearly not a team accustomed to being down in the second half. They're 15-1 this season. In fact, when you combine North Central and Pike, only 2 total losses from the state of Indiana this year. Pike's coming earlier in the season. North Central coming last game to Ben Davis. Here is Baker, and right on cue, Angel Baker knocks down a 3.
Great job by Makia Keith getting into the keyway then and finding Baker, who she knows is one of the best shooters in the team. So she's looking for her at every opportunity.
This 5-point lead, the smallest the advantage for North Central has been since early in the second quarter. Pike's defense gets a stop. White out in transition. Giesler on the baseline. It got swatted by Hunter.
Giesler just losing her balance then on that, but you can see Makia Keith getting into the heart of the keyway and finding a wide open Baker, and she'll knock that shot down on most occasions.
She's a 45% three-point shooter. She's 3 of 7 from the three-point line tonight. Has had plenty of good looks. North Central in this zone, which can lend its way to three-point shooting. Tough shot coming from Michaela White, but she got fouled. So
Yeah,
Michaela White, a 73% foul shooter here. A chance to make it a 1-possession game of the line.
Well, that was a tough shot. As you can see there, Stormley's just reaching in at the last second. That's what she was called for the foul for. Otherwise, that would have been a forced shot then by White.
White is committed to Indiana State, so another one of those players on the roster that'll be headed to play collegiately elsewhere. North Central has at least a couple, Ramey and Harris, but they're both out. Ramey for the season. Harris has been out for a good chunk of it. Brockington was terrific in the first. The defense on her has gotten a lot better. And look at Makia Keith staying in position for Pike. They get the stop. And on the rebound, Kennedy Gerard. And just like that, a three-point game. And Pike here with a chance to tie early in the third quarter.
Referees letting them play a little bit more physicality out there.
A good look for Keith. Brockington got back. Savea Brockington fouled hard.
Well, that was a good foul there, not letting Brockington make an easy layup. But when you foul somebody in this situation, you have to make sure that there's no attempt at a shot.
So Brockington, who had 11 first-half points and assists, 2 rebounds. Sister of Desjardins, who also starts for the Panthers. Brockington, one of the best foul shooters in the state, just 3 of 5 from the line here this afternoon.
Been a good start to the second half, though, for Pike. They've narrowed the gap down to 5 points.
Makia Keith had a look to tie on that last possession. They're giving Pike the three-point shot if they want it. Pike is just 4 of 17 from there, but they're getting good looks almost every time they take into the post. Nice turnaround from Baker.
Baker showing us how versatile she is. Not only can she spot up from the outside, but she can post up as well.
Asked Bob Angelo what position she plays. Technically is guard, but he said, in reality, it's everything. 1 through 4 and 5 in a pinch.
That's a tough pass to Baker. We talk about those turnovers.
And Stallings, she couldn't finish. Brockington with the rebound has to pull it back out. To her sister, Desjardins. Offensive rebound and a basket. Nakai Hunter, a third chance opportunity.
Well, that's just great persistence then. And Nakai Hunter rewarded, getting herself in there. And once again, Pike are just watching the ball go in the air and not getting a body on their opponents.
Good ball movement. It finds its way around to Baker, who fumbled it.
Pike need to move the ball around a little quicker here.
Down low, good position, Kennedy Gerard.
Gerard found herself with Desjardins Brockington on her. A little bit of a height difference there, so good finish.
Pike's offense has been much more fluid here in the third quarter. They're getting better looks. They're not turning the ball over quite as much. They had 12 turnovers at the half. Just 1 in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. Here's Hunter lumbering in. And Pike pulls down the rebound. Kennedy Gerard. Baker on the baseline, and Baker has 15.
Baker on that floated end. Great poise. She has good body balance. Certainly showing us why she's one of the better players in the state right now.
Hesitation and a nice move from Asia Stallings. Angel Baker had 21 points per game, but also 5 assists, 7 rebounds. Do everything. I think gets tossed around a little too much in basketball, but she certainly fits the bill.
We talked about Brockington and what she's brought, but talk about Asia Stallings having a huge impact here on this game.
And Kennedy Gerard, once again, getting good position in the post. She'll be headed to the line. Another look here at Angel Baker, that baseline floater to bring Pike within 3.
That's a great finish there, and as I said, great body balance as well.
Gerard is a 74% foul shooter. By the way, Pike, who got into the bonus in the first quarter of the first half, has committed just 1 foul on the other end. North Central was dominating at the foul line at halftime. That has been a clear issue for Bob Angela at halftime, and his team has addressed it as Gerard splits the 2.
North Central went 7 from 12 in the first half. Shooting only 50%, 58% from the free throw line, so they would like that to be up over the 80% mark.
Brockington gets inside amongst the trees. Tough shot. Off of North Central will go to Pike. She's so quick, but ultimately her height is a disadvantage when she gets in amongst the Kennedy Gerards, the Mariah Browns of the Pike Red Devils, and a nice job on help defense.
That's right. We saw those shots drop in the first half, so now North Central missing a few, allowing Pike to get back into this game.
Giesler thought about it. Baker will take it, and Baker will hit it.
She's so poised. You can just see her checking out where the defense is. She had a lot of time on that. So there's Savea Brockington bringing it right back at her.
The top two players tonight have shined. 15 points for Brockington, 18 now for Baker. Cross-court pass. Keith couldn't handle it.
Right idea, but sometimes these cross-court passes have been down more towards the ankle or the knee level of the players. So if we can get some better passes going so they can just catch and shoot the ball, might be a different situation.
Inaya Madden checking in for the first time for Pike. Here's Brockington, and Brockington drew the foul. And just as Pike had gotten it to a one-point game, Savea Brockington taking over on the following two possessions, hit a jump shot, and Brockington will shoot two more here.
When you have a fast player like Brockington, you have to trust your teammates defensively and know that there is going to be a second line of defense.
But Brockington, one of the state's best free throw shooters, relatively has struggled from the line here this afternoon. She's now 4 of 7. She certainly has the quickness despite her size, but the shooting as well. A 54% shooter. She shoots it at 40% from the three-point line, which is a great number. 87% from the foul line coming into tonight. Baker, good find underneath to Gerard.
Good spacing then by Pike. Great feed by Baker into Gerard, who's now becoming a big presence there down in that low block area.
Tough shot, Stallings. Offensive rebound goes to North Central. Stallings again, and a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it here with North Central. But it just feels like the looks for the Panthers have gotten more difficult.
Well, Pike have definitely stepped up their defense now. North Central are shooting overhands, whereas before they were getting open looks. It's making it harder for Brockington to get those baskets.
Baker with 18 points, 3 shy of her per game average. Dips inside, and a whistle. They'll call it on the floor. The basket won't count. That is the 4th foul on North Central.
You can see Baker there. That quickness, that explosion. Again, even though the basket didn't count, I mean, she's finishing those shots off.
Gerard's been effective here in the 3rd. Keith will let one fly.
That was a good shot for Makia Keith to take. The ball reverse sides, it went into the post. Cross-court pass, she was wide open. That was the shot she had to take. Even though she's missed her last few, she's got to keep looking for that shot.
If you're Pike, you have to be thrilled with how things have settled down here. North Central jumped out to a double-digit lead, and we're threatening to run away with things in that first half. Bob Angela said it's so important that we play a slower brand of game than them. This is a Pike team that likes to run generally, just not at the warp speed of North Central. And I think we have certainly seen this game here in the second half at Pike's pace.
Well, definitely offensively, they still want to push the ball and see if they can get some easy points in transition. But on the flip side, when North Central have the ball, they want to slow them down and take that game away from them.
Keith with the steal, and charging hard is Dessa Giesler, and Giesler will go to the line to try to tie things up.
Jasmine Davis, she read that quite well, that Giesler was going to go to the right, just didn't get there in time.
Giesler, a 43% foul shooter, rolls the first one in. Giesler can tie this game for the first time since 4-4 in the first quarter.
Knocking them both down there, and she looked pretty confident after that second one.
We had a competitive game number 1 basketball day, Indiana. This one living up to the hype as well. Number 1 North Central, number 3 Pike. Another turnover. Here's Angel Baker. White jerseys are back. Baker to the rim, and Pike has their first lead of the afternoon.
She makes it look so easy.
Timeout. Timeout for Deanne Ramey, who's seen North Central, or I should say Pike, go on a 12-5 run. And the Red Devils have gotten things to their pace, and they've certainly taken advantage of the turnover when they've gotten it here in the third.
Well, the body language now between both sides has flipped. You see Pike now, they are pumped. They are giving each other high fives. The momentum has definitely switched to them. It'll be a challenge now for North Central to pick themselves up and respond to this challenge.
Angel Baker has 20. She's been terrific here in the third quarter. As Pike now taking the lead for the first time tonight as North Central jumped out to a 4-0 lead. It was tied at 4-4, and North Central went back on top early in the first quarter and haven't given it back since.
How important is Angel Baker to this team? She has 20 points, 4 assists. She does have 5 turnovers, but when you're handling the ball as much as what she is with that defensive pressure, you are going to find that sometimes turnovers do get a little high.
Look at that third quarter for Angel Baker, matched her entire first half. And one other thing that Bob Angela talked about, he said, we're the bigger team, so we need to take advantage of that size on the glass. They're out rebounding North Central by 6, so they're doing a lot of the things in his formula to come up with what would be a slight upset win here today for Pike. A lot of those things in that formula are coming together here in the third quarter.
You know, we talk about, you know, the rivalry between these two teams and the last meeting, and, you know, Pike want to come out with that mind frame of that win wasn't just luck. And so that'll be big on their minds as well to prove it wasn't just that.
North Central looking to solve this Pike zone, which in the half court they have been much less efficient. Here's Stallings, a nice look, and she hits.
There was a huge gap there in the middle. I was wondering when they were going to find it, and Stallings did, and the teammates just got at the ball.
Baker has 20. Here's a turnover, and this is advantage North Central. Brockington so effective in transition, but turns it back over. Giesler nearly gave it back. Diving on the floor is Gerard, and this will be a jump ball with possession arrow favoring the Red Devils.
I don't know about you, Pat, but you can just feel the intensity now just rising as the game has gotten to this point, 41 apiece.
Deanne Ramey arguing that they had the ball at the quarter, but the possession arrow is favoring Pike. A chance now for the Red Devils, who trailed by 8 at half, to take the lead into the fourth quarter. White turns around. That won't go.
Probably not the shot they wanted right then. They could have worked it around for a better shot.
And Stallings on the other end. She's so good at leaking out. And if you're Pike on the offensive end, these players around the perimeter, they see that shot go up, does North Central, and those players start taking off on the other end.
Well, your guards have to communicate with that, and that's one of their main jobs, is as soon as the shot goes up, you've got to get coverage for your transition defense.
Stallings an 80% foul shooter. North Central is just 10 of 17 from the foul line. Typically a pretty good foul shooting team at around 70%, is shooting it at 59%. One of 2 for Stallings. The lead back to North Central.
Let's see if Pike can take this opportunity now to take the lead for the first time. 10 seconds left. The ball is obviously in Baker's hands. You wouldn't expect it to be in any other.
Baker off the screen. She'll fire from 3 and hits. Angel Baker with 13 in the third quarter. And that 3 has given Pike their largest lead of the afternoon. North Central has led for nearly the entirety of it. But it's Pike with a 2-point advantage. through 3 quarters. Here inside Baker's Life Fieldhouse on Basketball Day, Indiana, the Red Devils leading by 2 as they look for a comeback upset here from the Fieldhouse.
Indiana Members Credit Union loves giving back to community, and so do I, especially when it involves kids. That's why I'm proud to partner with Indiana Members Credit Union to provide backpacks to local students for every shot I blocked this season. IMCU has already donated thousands of backpacks full of school supplies to help prepare students to succeed. And that's why I choose Indiana Members Credit Union, and you should too.
As long as there is fear, as long as there is curiosity, as long as there are undiscovered corners of the earth, and as long as there is willingness and desire, then you are capable of more.
Dreyer & Reinbold BMW, Indianapolis, Greenwood, and at DreyerReinboldBMW.com.
To get great care for your everyday life, you need more than an everyday doctor. You need one that listens. And that's just what Ascension doctors at St. Vincent do. Listening to you helps us see your whole picture. And with care teams who take the time to understand you, getting the care you need when and where you need it has never been easier. Find care that is right for you at GetStVincentCare.com.
Red Devils outscore the Panthers by 10 in the third, and Angel Baker, that 3 gave her 13 in the quarter. She outscored North Central as a team, and that 3 gives Pike their largest lead of 2 points that they've had all afternoon. Baker with 23. She averages 21 per game. Electric in the third.
Well, she's definitely found her rhythm now, and so the defense have to make her uncomfortable and not let her just be able to step into those shots, especially with that 1 or 2 balancing dribble.
Remember, North Central is playing without their top 2 players, Taylor Rainey and Ricky Harris, combined for 30 points per game. Despite that, Rainey's been out for the entire year, Harris for a chunk of it. North Central has lost just 1 time in state, and that came on Thursday to Ben Davis.
North Central trying to find a way to get the ball inside. Pass is getting a little bit sloppy now.
And Stallings had it poked away by Giesler. And Stallings will foul Giesler, and this is the 6th now on North Central. So Pike going to hit the bonus on every foul here forward. On the other hand, the Red Devils have committed just 4.
North Central, their passes aren't as sharp right now. I think that goes with kind of their confidence is just a little lower than what it was obviously in the first half.
White into a double team, tough shot, and Newman comes down with it for North Central. Newman ahead to Brockington, the smaller Brockington over White. Her shot wouldn't go, and the rebound to the Red Devils. And they will say a foul on the rebound going against North Central, so this already coming into play as Pike gets into the single bonus.
And that was a great job by Nakia Keith there, not fouling on that layup by Brockington and making her having to finish the shot. And as we've seen this half, she's struggling now to finish those baskets. And so a good play there, good defensive play.
Front end of the 1-and-1 from Gerard, a 74% foul shooter. So North Central, who had 30 points at the half, has just 12 here in the second half. As their offense is going to have to find ways to score in the half quarter, they're going to have to get turnovers. Stallings got fouled and hung on the rim and fell off. This is Nakia Hunter. And the freshman Hunter, who has already taken 6 free throws, will go back to the line. Hunter is 3 of 6 from the line.
Hunter just making a very powerful post move to the basket there. See, she gets some nice height on that shot there.
Well, if you're a player like her, who clearly is a rebounder and a post scorer first, not necessarily a jump shooter, There's clearly a lot of coaching into that shot.
Oh, most definitely. And, you know, it may come down to free throws at the end of this game with how close it is.
We've been tied 4 times, 3 lead changes.
Pike just standing around now. They need to move.
And that's Michaela White. In the half court, Pike certainly looks more comfortable. On the offensive end, they're patient. They'll wait 30, 40 seconds for a good look if they need to. Stallings, that's a 3. Hunter nearly pulled it down, but the rebound comes to Baker. 3 on 2. Baker the lob. The tip from White wouldn't go. A third try for Baker. Baker flips it back up. She has 25, and Pike has their largest lead.
Well, it took a little longer to get the desired result, but we nearly had an alley-oop play. Baker there persistent on that offensive rebound. Padded her stats there with about 3 offensive rebounds.
Pike now +8 on the glass. And more importantly, 15 turnovers for the Red Devils, 3 of them in the second half. They've tightened things up. North Central struggled to score on the offensive end, and now a travel coming up against Savea Brockington.
Well, the coaching staff definitely don't agree with that.
But you have to come down on both feet.
On both feet, yes.
And if those 2 feet don't land at the same time, it's a travel.
Yep. Unfortunately, we don't have the replay on that one. So.
Back to Kennedy Girard. They'll say a foul on the floor. So the basket won't go, but Girard will go back to the line. And similar to how we saw Camden Bodie in that first game, we saw Garrett go down to the post a little bit more in the second half. Kennedy Girard has been that answer for Pike in the post here in the second half this afternoon.
That's right. In the first half, it seemed like Pike were just a little disjointed. They didn't have any chemistry going out there at all, but they just remained persistent. They kept chipping away so that they still maintained only a small deficit.
Michaela White spinning through the defense. Five minutes left to play now. Keith on the drive, off the mark.
White's in there again trying to get those boards.
Newman had the rebound and a foul on Pike. So that's the 6th foul on the Red Devils. Both teams in the bonus from here on out.
I don't have the updated stats right now, but Baker must pretty much have a double-double now with rebounds and points.
25 and 12. 5 assists to go with it as well. She's probably not going to get to 10. But she has been absolutely electric. And Michaela White, 10 points and 10 rebounds for her.
And we talked about other players stepping up, taking pressure off Baker. Michaela White has been one of those, put her hand up and say, I'm ready to do this.
We have a full slate of games going on throughout the day here on Basketball Day Indiana, year number 2. We're glad you're with us here for some of the early coverage. Here's a look at some of the other games we'll have going on. That is New Albany and Romeo Langford. You won't want to miss that one. Kristen Airy and Eddie Gill have that shortly after this one. Then our whip-around coverage, Purdue, Indiana women, Purdue men's basketball, Butler men's basketball, as we will float between those 3 games. Valparaiso will be on a little bit later on Fox Sports Indiana Plus. And then the game out at the Pacers Athletic Center. Broad Ripple Crispus Attucks before we close things up. Baker's Life Fieldhouse is getting its fair share of work here this afternoon into the evening. 3 high school games, and the Pacers and Bulls will tip off just a little bit later. If you're North Central here, you're down by 4. You struggled on the offensive end here in the second half. If you're Deanne Ramey, 14 points and about a quarter and a half here in the second half. Clearly you want to run, but typically that starts on the defensive end.
You've got to get a stop, secure that rebound first, and then get out. They still want to push the ball, play what got them that lead in the first half, and that was pushing the ball and creating opportunities in transition. Pike have done a good job, though, of slowing that down, so we can see where North Central aren't as good in a quarter court set as they are in open floor transition. But what a great day here in Indiana. We've got 2 games of girls high school basketball. Last year we had 1.
There's a look at some of the participants from Silver Creek who will play Romeo Langford and New Albany. If you've been with us throughout our coverage in game number 1, we had a preview piece of Romeo Langford. It's going to be tough for him to catch Damon Bailey. He's currently on pace to come up a little bit short. But in terms of players who have played from their freshman year and on in Indiana, this is a kid that's going to go and play for just about any college he chooses. But from an Indiana high school perspective, he's going to give just about as much as any player in the history of the state.
I'm sure there's also a lot of hashtagging going on from them with those selfies. They all had their phones in hand. I'm sure hashtag Basketball Day Indiana is the first one off the list.
I saw you getting in on that earlier.
Oh, I did, yeah. I'm going to take my snap with you later.
A 4-point lead for Pike. This is their largest lead of the afternoon. Stallings looking to cut in, gets inside, gets the roll and a foul.
Asia Stallings. If there were two players that were going to get you back into this game, it's Asia Stallings or it's Savea Brockington. The middle of the keyway is where there's been the biggest gaps in this Pike zone. And she found that gap. And she was just all-out energy then.
Stallings an 80% foul shooter. She is 5 of 6 from the line here this afternoon. And North Central back within 1. They've gotten consistent scoring when they've gotten consistent turnovers. They've only forced 3 here in the second half. Pike turned it over 12 times in the first half.
Pike now just extending it out a bit, working the clock down.
It's a bit of a virtue to be able to be this patient in the half court and still get a good look.
That's right. I mean, we're only a 1-point difference here.
That got tipped away by Newman. Baker back on the floor with it. And a jump ball will give possession to North Central. Rather, it'll stay here with Pike. North Central got it to start the quarter.
It's one thing to milk the clock down, but you don't want to turn it over without getting a shot up.
Baker left alone. It spins out. The putback goes for Michaela White.
Michaela White has come up big in this second half for Pike. She has helped turn this game around for them.
North Central trailing by 3. They're 17-2 on the season after an undefeated regular season a year ago. So this is unfamiliar territory. Pike got the win in the regional final last year. Deanne Ramey saying this isn't necessarily a revenge game. The tournament, if they match up again, will be that. Stallings, oh, a nice spin. The lefty left it long. Certainly North Central has that in the back of their heads here in the final 3:15.
No one flashing to the middle then in that zone offensive play. They need to get someone to the middle. Pike now just settling it down again, working the ball around.
And into the secure hands of Angel Baker. 25 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Pike with a 3-point lead is content to run clock here in North Central, which is known for their aggressive and high-pressure defense. Struggling to take it out of Pike's hands.
Well, there's no pressure on Baker right now. Although there's a defender there, there's no actual pressure being put on.
Baker in the lane. She goes glass and has 27.
If anything, force her to the sideline where your help defense is. Force her to the sideline baseline. Don't let it go down the middle.
North Central led by 11 in the first half. Pike was just trying to hold on for dear life. Now they have Deanne Ramey's North Central Panthers on the ropes as Ramey arguing her case. On that last basket, she wanted an offensive push, but Angel Baker has pushed all the right buttons here in this one.
Angel Baker. You look at her stat line there, she's getting it done in every single stat. And she doesn't even look winded out there. Making it look so easy.
27 points, she's not come out. That's also true of playing the entirety for Savea Brockington of North Central. And Brockington came out, and almost before you could blink, had 8 points. And North Central was up big. And it was, okay, they're showing why they are #1 in the state. And I think you really have to give Bob Angela a whole lot of credit. As you look in on his huddle right now, there have been clear adjustments from his standpoint. And so far, those adjustments have all been really effective in slowing Savea Brockington and getting this game into more of a half-court style of play and continuing to win on the glass. Those strengths, those adjustments from Bob Angela can't be overstated.
Most definitely. I mean, Savea Brockington, the impact she had in the first half to the second half, totally different. And credit to Pike and their defense. They've definitely done a better job of now themselves knocking down baskets, getting back, slowing down North Central's transition game. In the first half, it was all transition. But now North Central are finding it hard to pass the ball around in this zone. And I think now finding themselves 5 points down, whereas the first half, you're in the lead, you're playing with confidence. It's harder to play when you're down.
North Central can put up points in a flash. That's what they'll look to do here in the final 2 minutes as they continue to try to break down the stifling Pike press. Brockington, a three. And there's Gerard pulling down a big rebound for Pike.
Big rebound.
Baker double teamed and fouled. They'll get Dejanay Brockington on the foul. So 9 fouls now on North Central. It'll send Angel Baker to the line, an 89% foul shooter. For everything she's done, she's actually not been here this afternoon. Her first free throws, an 89% foul shooter. If you're North Central, you likely have Ricky Harris, I should say, coming back at some point this season. She had a hyperextended knee, has come back from it, had a flare-up from it, and so she was listed as doubtful today. The good news, if you're the Panthers, you're one of the top teams in the state and your best player is likely coming back. But right now, a 7-point deficit, under 2 minutes to play. They don't have her as Brockington tries to find a way to get through that here in the last 2 minutes, and a foul called on Pike. They'll get Gerard over the back, reaching in, trying to get the steal. So that is the 8th foul now on Pike. So a 1-and-1 coming up, but it sends Nakai Hunter to the line, a 43% foul shooter. Hunter is 5 of 8 from the line.
Interesting, when you do lose your big players, sometimes it just elevates everybody else around you. And you'll find that they can pull out some wins that they might not be expected to win because of those injuries. But, you know, credit still to Pike and the way that they hung in there in that first half when you could see they weren't quite gelling together. But as you said, the changes that have been made throughout the game by their coach has definitely paid off now.
1 of 2 for Hunter from the line. North Central trying to get that offensive rebound. It's off Brockington to the Red Devils. I think that was a good point. While things were going sour for Pike, they never got so bad that it took them out of the game.
That's right.
And they got their best player, Angel Baker, in a position to score. She had 10 points in the first half. She has 19 here in the second half. And one more will give her 30 points to go with 13 rebounds. Nearly lost it there, and she'll call a timeout.
North Central coach is trying to yell at her players. They want her to be double teamed. They want Baker to be double teamed. Try and get the ball out of her hands and maybe create a steal from the passes.
We were talking early on when Baker had 7. They had 9 points at the end of the first quarter. Baker had 7 of those. You said they've got to find ways other than Baker to be effective. They certainly have gotten that Michaela White and a couple other players down the line. But that said, Baker has continued to be as effective as she was in the first quarter throughout the entire.
Well, that's right. It doesn't mean that she can rest. I mean, that's not how it is. It just means that other players, when Baker is forced to give that ball up, are ready to either catch and shoot or ready to make a move themselves. But there certainly wasn't any foot being taken off the pedal by Baker.
So see if North Central tries to double team Baker. They'll go instead to Michaela White, right to the rim, and there's White with 2 more. North Central was not expecting that.
No, and that's just made their job a little bit harder now to bridge this gap.
Brockington got fouled, and That is definitely not what you're trying to do with your Pike, because you put one of their best foul shooters on the line in just a couple of seconds.
You know, if you're Pike, you don't have to be as aggressive defensively now. You can back off just that one step, still keeping your hand up to contest the shot, but you don't have to have your body right up on your opponent where it's easier for them to force you into a foul situation.
Brockington now has 17. 6 of those from the line. And Harris pulls down the rebound as Brockington has not had her best game from the foul line. Just 6 of 10 for an 87% foul shooter.
We've got some contact happening away from the ball between Baker and Stallings.
So that'll send Angel Baker to the line. She's got 29 points. If you are the folks at Wright State, you are watching this, and you've probably been smiling for about 90 straight minutes.
They're definitely liking what they're seeing and already planning on how to make her better.
In fact, you watch her as somebody who's clearly not a college-level recruit, and you wonder why every program in the country might not be interested. Now, she doesn't have maybe the physical size of a Ricky Harris, for example, of North Central, who is going to Ohio State. But in terms of basketball ability, it's hard to imagine they come a whole lot better than Angel Baker.
Well, from what we've seen here today, she definitely has put herself in a different class level. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of her in future years to come.
30 for Angel Baker. Make sure to stay tuned to our coverage throughout the day. Coming up around 12:15, New Albany and Silver Creek. You'll watch Romeo Langford. And then we begin to progress into the college games, ultimately ending up with NBA on this floor a little bit later today. Brockington pull up 3. She can hit it, and she does. And North Central within 60, and Ramey will take another timeout. On one hand, you can be a little less aggressive if you're Pike, but you don't want to let that kind of look from 3 happen either.
You don't, when I say you can back off a step, it doesn't mean you let someone come down in rhythm and shoot a shot that they normally can shoot 9 times out of 10. So you have to still be there and force them into something else. But on that occasion there was no defense inside, and Brockington just easily walked up to the line and nailed that 3-point shot.
We've spent so much time talking about Angel Baker, and deservedly so. 31 points, 13 rebounds. But how about Michaela White? 14 points, 12 boards, and she has been that second player to Angel Baker that has helped Baker become so effective, and vice versa.
Michaela White was definitely the X factor in the second half. And as you can see, just her presence on the boards, some of her post moves off sideline plays where I guess people were expecting the ball maybe to go to Baker and had more defensive pressure on her. It allowed players like White to have an impact.
Well, before the game, Bob Angela said if this game is in the 50s or the low 60s, I like our odds. So I think he might be even surprising himself that for North Central, it's in the low 50s right now. North Central just 22 second half points. This is maybe the best offensive team in the state.
Pike just have to get the ball in here. Gerard is wide open.
And a dangerous pass. Brockington comes up with the steal. She hit a 3 a moment ago.
They have a quick shot here.
And they'll call her for traveling. Dejanay Brockington, the sister of Savea. Remember, this is a strength of North Central. They haven't done it here in the second half, but they forced turnovers extremely well. Forced 12 in the first half, and nobody got back on Gerard, and there's an easy 2.
Baker handled that pressure. Not only did she get out of the double team, but she found a wide open player under the basket for an easy layup.
Dejanay Brockington on the baseline, off target. 21 seconds and an 8-point deficit for North Central, who led by as many as 11 in the first half. Pike did not take their first lead until late in the third quarter. And here's a steal. Makia Keith comes up with it, and Makia Keith will elect to run this out if North Central will let them.
Good heads-up play there by the point guard. They can just run this out now. What a turnaround of events.
Pike trailed by 8 at the half. They'll win it by 8 here on Basketball Day, Indiana, game number 2. The Pike Red Devils outscore North Central by 16 points in the second half and come away with a win. They beat North Central in that regional final. They've now won 2 in a row in one of the best rivalries in girls high school basketball. The final score from Bankers Life Fieldhouse is 60-52. The Red Devils get the win. This has been a production of Basketball Day in Indiana on Fox Sports Indiana. Coming up next, more Basketball Day Indiana live. Then at 12:15, it's the marquee matchup between New Albany, the Bulldogs, and the Silver Creek Dragons.
Financing was always a concern.
We were a brand new couple out of college.
First bought a dog, which made us buy the house, of course.
Needed more space. Knew we were getting married, so
Correct.
we wanted something to be able to move into right away. Kind of the firsts of all of our friends. We ended up finding Forum Credit Union, and through Forum Credit Union, we got pre-approved.
Really liked working with Forum.
The mobile technology is great.
The best to offer rate-wise.
Everything went so smoothly.
Forum Credit Union made it easy.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented the facts.
Are you kidding?
Your proposal's ludicrous.
My proposal will go exactly the way I say it will.
My dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
Oh, that's the power of one.
Civility. Pass it on.
One grain of sand can turn the tide.
Allie Raceman in the spotlight with Fran Healy.
If you have a what-if thought, you're going to make a mistake. And I learned that the hard way in 2012. And so when I got to Rio, I was thinking, what if it's going to happen to me again? What if I mess up? As soon as I got up on the podium to go, I said, this is my moment. I've worked so hard. I'm going to make this happen for myself.
Back in downtown Indianapolis for Basketball Day, Indiana. Things are now beginning to heat up after our first game of the day has now gone final. And if the rest of the day is anything like game 1, we're going to be in for a wild ride. What a day by the Pike Red Devils. They trailed by 8 at halftime, and what a second half. They come back and win the game by 8, knocking off number 1 North Central 60-52. The star of the game, Angel Baker, 31 points for the Pike Red Devils. What a way to start the day. For more, let's send you back down courtside and Tully Bellavacqua.
Well, here I am with the player of the game, Angela Baker. First of all, congratulations for the win. You yourself, though, you put on a performance for everyone here, not just watching here in the stadium, but watching on TV, just short of a triple-double. How do you feel after that?
Pretty good. I feel great, actually. Coming off a tough win Thursday night. He came in, handled business. I feel good. It's a good team win.
Now, the first quarter, there wasn't much gelling going on. What did your coach say to the team to turn that around?
Just adjust to the zone. They knew we was good at it. They clogged the paint up, so just adjust, take time, push through adversities. We did what we had to do. We figured it out.
Well, you sure did. And what areas of your game are you looking to improve? Because there was a lot there that I saw that you have so much talent. What do you want to work on to elevate your game to the next level?
The three, I need to attack with my left hand more. Just being more aggressive, actually, and mentally prepared, you know.
Well, great job here today. Wishing you all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you.